This holiday, discover meaningful gifts for everyone on your list at Kay. Not sure where to start? Our jewelry experts are here to help you find or create the perfect gift, in-store or online. Book your appointment today and unwrap love this season, only at Kay.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. This Monday night, witness the end of an era. John Cena takes center stage for his final appearance ever on Monday Night Raw. One last match, one unforgettable farewell. Come celebrate the legacy of a true WWE legend. Monday Night Raw, November 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, only on Netflix. Be there for the moment everyone will be talking about.
Hello, my name is Damon Friedman, co-founder and president of SOF Missions. As a 20-year veteran within Special Operations, I've gone through many challenges due to my military service and time in combat. We felt called to start SOF Missions to serve our fellow brothers and sisters in arms, focusing on suicide prevention and resiliency. Our mission at SOF Missions is to empower warriors to find purpose and be resilient. Since 2011, when we started the organization, almost 3 million men and women have deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the scars of war take a toll on their psychological, physical, social, and spiritual health. Many veterans feel a sense of hopelessness and a loss of purpose when they return to civilian life. They feel isolated and alone, unable to reconnect. And in the greatest of tragedies, over 20 veterans lose all hope and take their own lives. Our goal at SOF Missions is to provide veterans the tools and resources so that they don't become a statistic. We offer a unique approach to combating veteran suicide through a whole health, intradisciplinary model. The Be Resilient program is a 4-pillar methodology that addresses the areas of psychological, physical, social, and spiritual wellness. We provide care through 3 delivery methods: medical clinics, retreats, and educational training. Since we started back in 2011, we have been able to reach veterans in all 50 states and have served over 3,000 veterans through the Be Resilient program. Being resilient is a multifaceted and complex issue. We know that to find a lasting solution, we have to address the whole warrior. Many challenges cannot be solved by providing the treatments and modalities of just one component, but by tackling them all. Now, we've expanded our services to include law enforcement and first responders. Together, we can make a lasting impact in the lives of warriors across the nation. To learn more, visit our website at sofmissions.org.
All right. Welcome back.
MisFitNation, the MisFitNation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience need to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. It's Tuesday, and it's our third episode as we continue our Veterans Week series with stories rooted in service, leadership, family, and purpose. Our guest tonight is a United States Army veteran. She served as a unit supply specialist and arms route specialist with 3rd and 101st Aviation Regiment in the storied 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault. Let that soak in. Air Assault. And deployed to Iraq, supporting the Apache mission during high-tempo operations. After the military, she carried her commitment forward as a mother, entrepreneur, VFW Post Commander, State Surgeon, and advocate fighting to ensure no veteran is left behind. This is a conversation about what it means to serve in uniform and beyond it. Please rise as we welcome United States Army veteran Tammy Flake to the Tuesday crew, presented by the MisFitNation and hosted tonight by Cagney.
Good evening, everybody. It's Veterans Day. I want to thank every one of you. I want to start the show off real quick. You know, there was nothing bad about police. Obviously, my brother didn't make any comments. Nothing bad happened. On the plus side, last month, neighborhood resource officer Ryan Holland was contacted by concerned citizens, and he's with the Lexington Police Department, about a homeless veteran. He worked with neighborhood resource officers Adam Dunn and Robert Jackson, worked with the veteran to get him items that he needed, including items to stay warm, and they're continuing to follow up with him. So it's not a bad thing every day with police. They're going out of their way. They're helping veterans. They're helping other people. They are doing the job that they're there for. It's not just bang, bang. It's not bad all the time. They're going out and they're helping the community. I just wanted to touch on that and say thank you to Ryan Holland, Adam Dunn, and Robert Jackson for that. And now I'm bringing Tammy. My brother gave a quick shout out about her, and I'd like to have her come in and tell me her story from wherever she wants to begin. Hello, Tammy.
Hey, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, especially on Veterans Day. You guys have a great lineup this week. Thanks for having me.
And last night you were boosted up. The person we had on last night said she met you and you're great. So I wanted to hear all about your story.
Oh, well, thank you. Little bit of my story. I joined the military on my 17th birthday. I was kind of one of those weird kids that didn't want to go to college and didn't want to get into debt. And so the military was going to pay for any of my schooling and teach me how to do a job. And I'm one of those, just teach me what to do. I'm going to do it for you really good. So I got to be with the Apache helicopter unit for my whole career in the Army out at Fort Campbell. And it was a great experience. Air Assault qualified and being able to do that. And I became a sergeant within 2 years. So I was 19 years old sergeant, and I had guys much older than me. And they're like, what? I'm taking orders from a teenager? I was like, yeah, I know my stuff. So they're like, okay, yeah, we get that. And then, deployed to Iraq for a year and came back, and we were just gearing up for the next deployment. And I had just gotten married, and my husband and I found out we were pregnant with our first, right literally as I was getting on the plane. We had just gotten married. And so they were like, all right, pull her bags. And so I stayed rear D and got everybody set up for that deployment overseas while I got everything back stateside set up. And then I decided to Chapter 8 out, which a lot of people don't realize that as a female soldier, you have two choices when you get pregnant. You can either do a family care plan and stay in the military and, decide how you're going to do family and soldier life together, or you can honorably discharge out. And that's what I decided to do. So my husband and I actually stayed around Fort Campbell for another 14 years. So I did the Army side, and then I came out and kind of was able to be on the other side, supporting the military families that did stay behind during the deployments, because Fort Campbell was just rapid deploying all the time. We have great special forces groups, and the families there are just amazing. I wish the families got more recognition, because those are my real heroes, the ones that stay behind and continue to keep our families strong, and while we're out fighting the good fight. So
Holding everything together.
yep, they do so much for us. And so, yeah, when I got out, I had quite a few experiences that, I think we all go through in the military. You just suck it up and push it down and rub some dirt in it and move on, right? And so I thought that's how we deal with everything. And so I got out of the military and really didn't tell anybody I was a veteran for about 12 years. I kind of kept it in, and figured I didn't need anybody else, and I was fine, right? And then we moved out to Utah, and COVID hit. And I'm a pretty big social person, and COVID locked me in, and I got pretty depressed, and I really started to dive deep into my body. If you guys haven't read The Body Keeps the Score, that's exactly what was happening to me. Is my body was definitely telling me, Tammy, we've got some stuff that we've got to deal with. You can't just keep pushing it down. And so mine manifested in shingles. And obviously I'm pretty young. And every time I'd go in, they're like, no, you don't have shingles. You're too young. And they're like, yep, you got shingles. And so I got introduced after COVID let up. There was another veteran in my city that had just gotten home from Heroes Haven, this program, and said, oh, I was really proud of my husband. He made a lot of good changes, and it was good for him to be around other veterans. And I reached out to him and said, do they offer this for women? Because I really just need to maybe get back into that camaraderie of being around my brothers and sisters. And they said, we would love to do one. We are just trying to find more women veterans. So I got to be part of the first women cohort that they ran up in Park City. And it definitely changed my life. And through that program, I was able to deep dive into some help that I really needed, more than I didn't even know I needed the help. And from that program, they encourage us to, see a therapist consistently. And I had tried that in the military, and it did not go very well. So luckily my sisters, helped me know how to find the right therapist, and that, even if it's not a good fit, you can shop around. It's not like, oh, you have to stick with that one. I think a lot of people don't realize that. And so I was able to find somebody that I've been able to heal really well. But I've been able to give back to this program and come and bring other people through this program. And that, I think, is what is really helping me to keep my healing going. Because if you want to keep something, you have to give it away. And there's so much about this program that I love. There's so many programs out there. I'm one of those. I have FOMO, fear of missing out. So I love to go to programs so that as I meet veterans, I can be like, this cohort or this retreat or this program would really be good for you. Maybe you should send in an application, because I don't know about you guys, but us military people, we have trust issues. What do you mean it's free? What's the catch, right? And so when somebody that has been through and be like, no, really, it's a good program. They're not charging. They really do just care about your well-being. And so I've been able to experience a lot of them, and I hope to continue to experience more, because I realized after I went, I can't do it alone. And more of us need to speak up and talk to each other and just say, me too. You know, I wear this hat a lot, not so that people can come up and say, thank you for your service, but so that I can connect with other veterans, especially being a woman. People don't just assume that I'm a veteran. But I love when I'm at the airport or I'm at different places, I can make a connection and say, oh, you know, what branch of service are you? We have our own language and own instant connection. And when we can connect and just be able to talk to each other and just say, me too, I'm here for you, maybe a hug, I think that's how we're going to combat suicide, because the suicide rates are just, it's getting bad. And we have to get out of our comfort zone. And we're all busy. We all have lives, but we can still take the time to serve our fellow veterans and go back for each other. And it's become one of my personal missions to fight for that. And recently, I've kind of learned about the political world and how that works, and started a little bit of advocacy work here in Utah, talking to congressmen and senators. And then I fly out to DC and talk to people there, and just really helping to push some of these veteran service organizations' missions so that we can do it together. Because it really doesn't matter who's getting the credit in the end, as long as we're saving lives and telling them, this is what we need. And we need you guys to listen. This is my story. This is his story. And we're real. We're not just a statistic and a number. We are real people, and we serve the country, and the government has a part of that contract that they have to uphold. And we're going to hold their feet to the fire and say, hey, we've got to talk about some of these things, and we can't just keep pushing it over with a pill. We can't just keep thinking we can cover the symptoms up. Sometimes we have to talk about the root causes. And it's a hard conversation to have sometimes, but I have just found so much joy in connecting with my brothers and sisters everywhere across this nation. And that's why I'm so glad you have me on this podcast, because I hope we can reach more people and inspire more people to just reach out and give a hug and say hi and how are you doing, and really listen, not just, oh, hi, bye, but give a listening ear, hold space for them, and just be there. So that's a little bit of my story.
My question to you is, when you speak to the senators and you go to Washington, how much is it smoke being blown up your ass, and how much of it is they're actually doing something?
So that's a really good question. So here in Utah, my congressman is Congressman Kennedy, Dr. Kennedy, actually. And so I feel very lucky because I was a delegate that got to talk to him as he was getting elected. And then now that he's in the position and we go out to DC, one of our missions, especially with the veterans of foreign wars, is we want the VA to look into alternative medicine on, instead of, okay, I have headaches, quit giving me a pill, and just masking the thing. It could be that I need hyperbaric oxygen chamber treatment. I could need, there's so many different alternatives. And so when we go to him and we're like, have you read up about this treatment? And he's like, yeah, actually, I have. And they're really good statistics, especially around PTSD and the treatment really helping that part of our brain be able to receive the oxygen. And then when we couple that with talk therapy, it grows even better. And so it's nice because they actually want to hear our opinions. And he's like, well, why can't the VA just approve that kind of treatment? And I'm like, well, because that's your job. And he's like,
why the hell do you think I'm talking to you?
Yeah. And again, we have to give them a benefit of the doubt. They're new, they're learning their job too. And so that's why we go and we advocate and we remind them, hey, I'm a constituent. I'm concerned about this and I need you to take this serious. And then I follow up with him and I see him here in Utah and he's reminded, oh yeah, when this bill comes up, I need to call Tammy and see if she or any of the other veterans have stories that they need to tell me before I vote on it. Now, we're pretty lucky here in Utah. A lot of our representation wow, my words.
Representatives. It's
Yeah,
okay.
representatives are very supportive of veterans and military, and pretty much all the bills that I've been following, they have been supporting. So luckily I don't have to fight with them too much, but now their real job is to go back and talk with the other ones to try to get them passed. And as much as we can be there to support, that's what's important. And I'm just so thrilled about the work that I'm able to do now, because again, back in 2020, I was stuck in bed. I wasn't out advocating for somebody, but somebody else was advocating for me, because we got the PACT Act passed and I wasn't there knocking on doors and telling people. So it's all about, what can I give going forward now, and making sure I'm healing so that I can be there for the next person. And I'm sure then we can continue that cycle of just being able to help each other. Because sometimes we just want to say, life sucks and I'm just going to stick to myself. But there's other people out there that need us to really go fight and to share our stories. As much as it's hard to be vulnerable and to share that, I think it's really important. So I believe they are listening. At least here in Utah, I don't get a lot of pushback. They actually genuinely want to listen, and they have my phone number, and they've called me and said, "Hey, Tammy, this is coming across. Can you come to this meeting? Can you be at this committee?" And I'm there to support, and they know I'm there. And so it takes some teamwork to get things done.
Well, I've always wanted to ask that question because my brother's done work too, and I I don't know if it's just them. Okay, I'm trying to get the vote, so let me make this person happy, and or if they're actually doing work with it. And
Yeah.
obviously, with you, they're doing work with it, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's
I'd
not
say
just
no
let the
matter where
person
you
wrestle
live,
you to death.
yeah, no matter where you live, if you want to be able to talk to your representatives better, again, I think all my information will be on here. Reach out to me. I'd love to tell you kind of my path that I took to find my voice, to find that ability to learn how to go talk to them. Because once I did learn, I want to share it with other people. So I can only do so much, but I want to help other people be like, you know what, this is really affecting me, Tammy. Can you help me walk through the steps of how to get in contact with them so that they actually listen? I would love to be a help for that also.
Fantastic. I have a question that came in,
Yeah.
if I may. At Strike for Life wants to know, what years were you at Campbell and where did you stay? Thank you.
Yeah.
Strike for
So
Life.
I got stationed at Fort Campbell on 4th of July, 2004. And I got out in December of 2008. And I was with 3rd 101. So it would have been on, I'm trying to remember all the terms of the base. But it was up by the airfield by 159th, if you know where that is. And so I was in the barracks before I deployed to Iraq. And then when I got back, I was a sergeant. So I got to move off base. And yeah, Fort Campbell was awesome. It was quite an experience getting there on 4th of July as a 17-year-old soldier. The base was actually really quiet because 4th of July, I didn't realize everybody had a 4-day weekend. And then the first day back to work, I had never seen so many people show up at one time. And the base was just packed. It was crazy. And I really enjoyed my time at Fort Campbell. I know everybody has different experiences, but Fort Campbell was a great place to be stationed.
Yeah, every time I go there, they give me a hard time getting on dates. My brother brings me to his job and they look at my ID, and then they let me go. I don't know what's up with that. Sorry about that. Just my mind wanders. Tell me more about Heroes Haven.
Yeah, so Heroes Haven is a nonprofit. It's run by veterans, for veterans. The reason why it was created was because sometimes when you get grants from certain organizations, they have to put in certain things. And we wanted to be able to give veterans as many tools as we possibly could in the amount of time. So Heroes Haven cohorts usually run between 6 to 7 days. And right now we're running them up in Park City at the National Ability Center. And the National Ability Center, also called the NAC, is open to all military, literally around the world. Like, they are such a great organization. If you look them up online, call them and say, hey, I'm a veteran and I live in New York, but I'd really love to come out to Park City. What kind of opportunities do you have? Because they run veteran programs throughout the year. They actually were started because of her husband came home from Vietnam with both his legs amputated, and she wanted him to be able to still go out and do everything everybody else can. And so they've grown this nonprofit very large and trying to help people with visible and not visible disabilities. And so, yeah, this program's amazing. I believe our website will be on this available also. You can go to, I believe it's dashua.com, or if you find us on Facebook, Heroes Haven, the links should get you there. And we run separate males and female cohorts. And then once the veteran goes through themselves, we actually hold a couples weekend so that the significant other can come and learn a lot of the tools themselves, because we come home and we're, doing meditations and saying different words and, starting to act hopefully better. And we want that to get into the families too. And so we're able to do that up at the National Ability Center too. But right now we're just running off a donation. So if anybody, is able to donate, I believe everything's on the website to do that. And once we go through as a veteran, as long as we continue to do the work, we want the veterans to come back, and we call them shepherds. They get to lead the next group. And hopefully it'll be a virtuous cycle of us being able to help and lift up one another. And then we're just part of this Heroes Haven, but we don't have a dues for the group or anything. We want this to be a place where people can come no matter what the cost is. Healing is what's important. And luckily we've been able to do that with so many generous donations from everybody.
That's fantastic. I have another question.
Yeah.
Let's see. At Hell of an Onion Dip 09, Tammy, what part of the military service most shaped who you are today?
What part
of the military service most shaped who you are today?
That's a good question. I like that.
Thank you, Hell of an Onion Dip.
Yeah. I feel like I've always been a person that likes to serve other people. But I think the biggest part that the military did for me was realizing that I can serve not only myself, but I can serve other people. And just because I got out of the military also meant that didn't have to stop. And so when I realized that somebody had my back and we were able to train, we can continue to do that. And so my personal mission is just to continue to serve. And I have so many experiences in the military of getting to serve with awesome soldiers and really getting to have some good experiences on service projects and going to hospitals and really making an impact outside of our mission that we were able to accomplish, whether it was TDY or over in Iraq. And those experiences really shaped me to continue to serve and be grateful for the people that served me.
Now you're reaching out and you're helping them, so it's even better. I like that.
Thanks.
There's a lot of people that they get out and they don't know what to do. You obviously know what to do. You're out there and you're helping others now. And that's fantastic. Do I sound okay to you? Because I just got a message saying I sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wow, 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 wow. Is that how I sound to you?
You sound fine to me, but you know how I am. I
Just
was
want to
on
make
an Air
sure.
Force base, so my hearing's kind of messed up anyway.
How was it in the helicopters? I saw them when I was down there last time. How was it being in one of those?
So being in an Apache helicopter unit was awesome. So again, I did unit supply.
Okay.
So a lot of the spending and buying things, or in the arms room, taking care of the equipment and helping the commander with his property book. But I was specifically with the Apache helicopters, and they are one of the most expensive piece of equipment that the Army owns. So, they're going to take care of the people taking care of that. And so we were able to do a lot of really cool missions. But we rapidly deployed and trained. And I am sad to admit it, but there for a while, because I joined on my 17th birthday and I didn't get married till 4 years into it. I didn't even realize that some of the people I was serving with had families. Like, that's how ignorant I was, because I'm like, we're together all the time. We're like deployed and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, you mean you have a wife and you have kids? And I'm like, I don't think I understand this. And that's when I got out and I realized, wow, I really see the other side of what the families are doing when we are gone and doing the mission. They really hold everything together. And that's why I'd love for some changes to happen to where the families get more recognition, because I really don't think they get enough praises and acknowledgement. They are my true heroes. The family members, the spouses, the children, everybody that, my mom, my family, they had to deal with me being gone, and I couldn't imagine. And so, yeah, being in that unit, it was awesome. As we geared up for Afghanistan, it was kind of cool because we did a joint task force. As we were gearing up to go to Afghanistan, it was going to be the Blackhawks, the Chinooks, the Kiowas, the Apaches, Blackhawks, Chinooks, Kiowas, Apaches. I feel like I'm forgetting another helicopter, but we were going out together and having one of each. And so it was going to be a really cool mission. And of course, I didn't end up going to Afghanistan, but we really loved being in an aviation unit. It's everybody knows everybody. And so when I was over in Iraq, I actually re-enlisted, and it was cool because we did it on the airfield, and the Kiowas came up and they actually, showed us around the aircraft and stuff. It was really amazing.
And I have another question coming in. We had a guest on last week, and psychiatrists use alternative medicines for PTSD. Do you agree with that? Wants to know if alternative drugs like K and MDMA is something that you would agree that used to try to fix or help with PTSD. Do you agree with them?
So I personally agree with a lot of the alternative medicines. I have to do a lot more research, but I have seen where cannabis has really, like, when you see the effects on somebody with PTSD, like, it's a help. Again, it's not for everybody. I'm not saying that everybody has to go through that. The hyperbaric oxygen chambers, red light therapy, there's sweat lodges, there are so many, yoga, meditation. There's a lot of different alternatives out there. And I just think the VA needs to have a lot more open-minded, and maybe even more open with their money, because yeah, some of it can be pretty pricey, but when it's so regulated that it's no longer about the person that needs to heal, it's well, you have to fit in this box. And if you don't fit in this box, then I'm sorry, we're just not going to be able to help you. And I've worked with many veterans that have tried to talk to their doctors over and over, and they're just like, I'm sorry, I can't help. I hit a wall. And they have to go and find this alternative medicine, and they're paying out of pocket. But they're saying it's working, and we need to get those stories to the right people so that we can get rid of those regulations and barriers that are standing in the way of healing our veterans when it can help them. And some of them can't keep jobs down, and they want to provide for their family, but again, they run into these walls. And again, we're not thinking about the person, we're thinking about the problem. And we need to flip that on its head and say, okay, we're thinking about the soldier. We're thinking about their experience that they went through, and let's work through what they're comfortable with. Personally, I don't think I'd be comfortable doing cannabis, but I was comfortable doing the hyperbaric chamber, oxygen chambers. And after I went to DC and talked to Dr. Congressman Kennedy, and he said, yeah, no, I've seen the real statistics, and it works really well. I went home and did 3 months of the therapy myself, paid for it out of my pocket, because I said, I want to see if this will work for my PTSD. And it was awesome. I just couldn't keep up the payments. So I personally think we need more veterans to stand up and say, look, I've tried this on my own. I paid, and it's working, so that we can hear those stories and they can be like, okay, just because it didn't work for somebody else, it is working for somebody else. The more they hear those stories, the more that paradigm shift of, we're just here. We got to push a pill. We got to push a pill. We're going to slowly move them to, okay, maybe there's an alternative. And I would love to see that paradigm shift of, the average of 20 soldiers a day decide that taking my life is the best solution, to 0. We want 0 lives. We don't want anybody to think that their life isn't worth living, especially because they're in a hard spot and they just can't find a solution to figure out what they're going through. And so I think we've got a lot of work to do, but if more of us stand up, I think we're going to see those numbers go down, because we're reaching out to each other and there is hope. And that's why I love these kind of podcasts, because it gets the word out to more people to say, one person can make a difference. It doesn't have to be millions of us. It just needs to be 1 or 2 or 3. And then we just continue to grow. And again, if you're part of the VFW, American Legion, DAV, AMVETS, like, there's so many organizations. Join any organization. What's the saying? We can get so much done if we don't care who gets the credit for it. I just want to see that number go down and down and down to 0, because I am sick of seeing my brothers and sisters choosing that way as their solution.
Well, the shows like this, we hope to reach more and more every week, which is why last week I talked to a doctor that changed the medicine, doing holistic. Speaking to you today, if somebody else is listening today, like, oh my goodness, I'm going through that. Maybe this will help me. Oh my goodness, maybe this will help me. Because not for nothing, military people are very stubborn. And, I've been never military. I'm saying, you people are very stubborn. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, there's something wrong with you. You need a foot in your ass to get you to realize it, but there is something wrong with you.
Yes.
And like I said, more and more people that listen and pay attention, like, oh shit, maybe that'll work.
Yep.
And this
And
is
again,
why,
if you've been on the edge of
why we talk about this.
Yeah. And if you've been on the edge of, I've got a story to tell, or I really think that this needs to be told to somebody in a position, and you're scared to do it, call me. I would love to walk you through, because I was scared myself. But once I realized, man, I just needed somebody who would help me and advocate with me until I could get out on my own. I would love to share that. So again, don't hesitate to reach out. Just be like, hey, Tammy, I'd love your help in XYZ. I'm here for anyone, anytime. Even if you just need a lift, I know 988 is there. That's great, but you can always text or call me at any time. Everybody is worth it.
We give out our emails every week and say, if you don't want to talk to anybody on at 988, email us. We'll get you our phone number and we'll talk to you every week.
Definitely.
And it's actually worked because somebody reached out but yes, it's something you have to do. You have to be out there. You have to be going out. You know, it's not just a commercial on TV, not just something you see on Facebook. It's real life, and people need help, and you need to be there with them.
Yeah.
My viewers are very quiet tonight. We've only had two questions. Oh, I'm sorry. As I said, that's one popped up. At Kennedy and Dem wants to know, how do you balance leading in the veteran community with being a mother and entrepreneur?
Ooh,
Thank you,
that is
Kennedy
a question I get a lot, actually. My husband and my kids are amazing. They are very supportive of me. They have seen me through everything, including my healing story. And they have realized how much it's helped me. And we talk about it. We talk about mom has these issues and we're going through it and we're going to talk about things. My family and I, we do a lot of counseling. I've read a lot of books. And so my kids and I and my husband, we are all very close. And so when I now am in the VFW or Heroes Haven, or I'm at the Capitol talking to people, it is taking a lot of time away from my family. But guess what? They come with me sometimes. And they're like, Mom, this is so cool. Like, they go and see the legislators with me, and they are making phone calls with me, and they go to the VFW poppy drives with me, and they see other veterans and they see the help, because I was that mom that was depressed in bed. And hey, Mom, do you think you're going to get out of bed today? I felt horrible. I did not want to be that mom, but I didn't know what was going on with me. I needed help, and I didn't even realize I needed help. And so for my kids to see me go to Heroes Haven, start reaching out to other people, start finding my voice, I believe my kids are more empowered than ever to see their moms stand up for other people. And they see the value in that. And because of that, I'm able to go and do what I do. And there's no mom guilt here. They love me, and they love soldiers, and they love the mission that we're fighting for. And sometimes some of us have to sacrifice time too. You know, I may not go on fun vacations. My vacations are going to DC. I love getting to go talk to our representatives and advocating on behalf of veterans. And I go to these retreats because I want to experience them for me. Another program, if people haven't heard about it, that I will tote their horn, is Project Sanctuary. This is a program that you and your spouse and your children can apply for, and they look at the whole family, and they take you on a retreat, and they talk to the kids at their level and the parents at their level, and they take care of you. They have us do family pictures. They do all kinds of different things, and they just take care of us because they saw a need within our community of, we'd like the family to get some bonding time. Like me as a veteran, I can go and experience these retreats and cohorts. But again, I'm away from my family. When I got to go to Project Sanctuary with my family, that made us even stronger. And now my kids want to go back and volunteer for that organization. And so it's nice because as we get to do these, we always feel like, well, we want to come back and we want to help. And so how I balance it, I am a very spiritual person, and I believe that Jesus Christ is my savior, and he knows who I am. He knows my talents and abilities. And I pray every day, please let me help the people around me that I need to, and be humble enough to be able to reach out to them and say, hey, it looks like you're struggling, let's just sit and talk, and be willing to sit and listen. Just hold space. We don't have to fix. We can just be there and listen, because a lot of us don't have families to go home to. And sometimes we need somebody else. So I am very busy, but it's a blessing to be busy, because I wouldn't go back to my depressed days in bed where I was doing nothing. That wasn't living life to me. What I'm doing now is living life, and being able to get to know these soldiers. I feel so blessed to be as busy as I am. And again, I hope people will reach out and want to do more also.
And with the depression and the PTSD, yes, you getting help is a great thing, but people need to realize that your kids, your husband, your family realize you have a problem, and
Mhm.
your kids going with you, and the parts where the whole family can go and they can learn together, they can all deal together, and they can work together. That's the amazing thing that you just said to me. It's not just you getting help; it's the whole
Yeah.
family, because the whole family is part of that. You know, you feel, there's a problem and they're getting it fixed, but you now have a problem because you're worried about them. So if you're all
Yeah.
together, you're healing together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And my
amazing.
kids, I'll say I have a 16-year-old. We have 5 kids, 16 every 2 years down to 8. We started homeschooling 3 years ago. Um, And so that has really opened our schedule up to be able to go and help where we need to go help. We're an entrepreneur family also. And so if you are a veteran that is thinking about starting a business or has a business and looking for more resources, I've got so many resources up here I'd love to share with you. Too much to put out on a podcast. But yeah, my husband and we own a construction business. And so that's how we are able to facilitate being available to go do this stuff, because we are using our talents and abilities the way we can. And we've tapped into some resources that veteran businesses, they want to see succeed. And so again, I'm going through the processes myself so that I can let other people know, hey, there's this program. If you're willing to put in the work to do it, it could really help your business succeed. And so we do that. We do homeschooling. Working with this nonprofit, Americans for Prosperity, has really just given me the education and the empowerment to be able to know who my representatives are and know that in America, I am the one that's the boss, and it's not our elected officials. But they don't know what my opinion is unless I go tell them. And sending a nasty, angry email is not how they're going to respond or want to listen. Sometimes we have to go and we have to just say, hey, I'd like a little bit of your time, and I'd like you to hear the story. Or this bill that you're about to vote on, I want you to know that it's going to affect me and my family this way. And so please vote this way. And you will make impact, because I have gotten to talk to these legislators and they want to hear from their constituents. People just don't know how to do it. And so,
So what you're saying
yeah,
is going in with a knife in your hand doesn't work. You just have to go in and be calm. And
I do not suggest that.
see, I'm from New Jersey. It's usually stab first and ask something. That's why I was just wondering.
No, no.
All right, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Not Your Mom wants to know, what do you believe is the most effective way communities can support veteran suicide prevention?
Say that
Most
last
effective,
part one more time.
most effective way communities can support veteran suicide prevention.
Oh, that's a really good question. So I'd have a lot of people always come up to me and, thank you for your service. What can I do for you? And I had no idea how to answer. first of all, when people thank me, I've had a really hard time with this. And I just learned this week, I'm going to be responding with, you're worth it, because our service was for them. And if we let them know, oh, you're welcome, that's okay. But if we turn around and say, you're worth it, means that what we did meant something to them. And they're going to think a little bit different. Then if somebody does say, how can I support you, Tammy? I see that you're working with these veterans. I'm not a veteran. I don't know what to do. First of all, talk to them. When you see someone, reach out and say, thank you for your service. Shake their hand, get to know them, especially if they're your friend. Reach out and say, hey, are you okay? I'm here for you. I have no idea what you've been through, but I am a person on your side. And that goes really, really far. The next step, again, find an organization or two that you can support monetarily. That would be great, because there are some really good organizations and businesses that like to sponsor and support. And so, Black Rifle Coffee, different things like that. Go to places that support veterans, support them, supporting us. And that's how we're going to continue to have these resources available for free or at a very low cost, because we don't ever want money to be the reason why somebody doesn't get help. I feel like right now I should share, a few years ago, I think it's called the Mission Act. I'm blanking on the actual name right now, but they did pass a bill anywhere in the United States. A veteran, whether they served overseas or not, can walk into any ER at any time. And I want families to know this, because the veteran may not be in the right mental state to know this themselves. But if the family knows, they can take a veteran that is in mental crisis at any time to any ER, all of the bills will be covered. And to me, that's been huge since that passed, because so many people are like, well, I can't go, we can't afford, I don't want to be another burden on my family. I want the families to know this is a resource. You go into that ER and you say, this is Tammy Flake and she is in mental crisis. She's a veteran. She needs help right now. They're going to get them the help that they need, and you don't need to worry about the money. And so again, I believe it's called Mission Act, but I'll double check on that. But across the nation, more people need to know about that resource, because it is available. And I believe it will save lives.
Fantastic. Now, getting back, you were saying you're reaching out to veterans, talking to people. I'm not going to say what I do for a living, because it's a running joke with the crew that I bring up what I do for a living too often. But I'll see a gentleman or a lady with an Army hat or a veteran hat, and my first words, regardless if they look my age, younger, or 70 or 80, I'll be like, "Oh, you're still active? What are you doing?" And that's when they open up. "Oh, no, I'm not. I'm retired. I left years ago." And that's when they start opening up, talking to you.
I like that.
The little old man was in, and "Oh, you're still active?" And because I'm giving him the military discount, and he just starts giggling, and then he starts telling me the story, and I love it when they open up to you, because a lot of them don't want to open up. They don't want to talk.
Yeah.
It's just funny to get the look on their face. "Oh, you're still active? You going back to work?" Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to have to steal that one.
Yeah, I try I try to talk to everybody, and that's one of the ways I get them to talk to me. So that's really good. I have another
Yeah.
question. Make it count for veterans struggling to find purpose after service. What is one first step they can take?
That's a great question. So that's another thing that we address at Heroes Haven. Once we go through the program, we call it Finding Your Passion Project. This is what kind of gets you up in the morning. This is going to take a little time of meditation and thinking about what has brought you to this point. You need to think about, what are some of the experiences you've been through that you see other people going through? Find a passion project that you want to get involved. For me, it was going back to Heroes Haven and going back for more people and teaching more people how to facilitate these. Huge part for me. Um, Veteran suicide. Again, all of it has coupled with me. For you, it may be, you know what? I just want to bake. I want to bake some cupcakes and just spread joy that way. Start a business and be able to provide for your family in that way. That's awesome. Maybe you want to do a triathlon and train for that. Find something in your life that's going to bring passion back into your life and have that be your vision until that vision and passion is done and you find a new one. So always have something to look forward to and have a goal. And again, have somebody to be accountable to. Hey, reach out to me. Tammy, I heard you on this podcast and I don't have anybody to be accountable for, but I would love to start this passion project. Can I tell you about it? Guess what? I would love to hear about it personally. Maybe you've got a friend close by. Reach out. We want to be there for each other. And most of all, we want to cheer for successes because the more of us getting out and really living our passion projects, this world is just going to become better and better the more we look at our talents and say, you know what, I'm really good at this and I want to help here. Maybe you're really good at coaching soccer. Find a team to coach. There's so many different ideas, but it's going to take some reflection into yourself and into your history and say, you know what, maybe there's some dark times that I can turn into a good light and bring people into a part of my healing without them even knowing, because I have found this passion project and this is what gets me up every day and I'm excited. And most of us have disability and, we're able to have a little relief with finances to be able to do a little bit more of what we love. And if we can find that passion project, that's what will definitely keep us going.
Fantastic. Well, this hour's gone by very quick, and you just touched a little bit saying you'll reach out, reach out. How can the viewers reach out to you? If it's another podcast they want to have you on, or someone wants to talk to you about what you do and how they can also help. How do they
Yeah.
reach out?
Honestly, I'm just going to give you my phone number. My number is 931-551-6484. You can call me, you can text me, you can WhatsApp me. I have an email. I have lots of emails, but you know how emails get, and sometimes you just don't know. And so honestly, just reach out. Say, hey, I'm a fellow veteran and I would love to get to talk to you about XYZ, because it is a passion project for me, getting to know my brothers and sisters. And if I can help advocate and just be of service to other people, that is how I am personally healing. And I just am so thrilled and grateful for the opportunity that I get to do this work every day.
Fantastic. All right, last question for you. I need you to give me 3 things that you need to do every day for your day to be complete.
3 things I have to do every day for what?
Your day can be complete. Wake up, have a coffee. Tell me what you have to do every day. 3 things.
So my 3 things that I have to do every day is to connect with my higher being. So I usually read scriptures and say prayers. Then I have to do meditation. I usually do it first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed. And then I have to have fun. I have to laugh. Like that is one thing that I just have to do. So I love it when people send me funny reels or anything like that. Like I have to find joy, because if we don't find the joy in life, my days just get dragged down. And so whether it's my kids making funny jokes or somebody sending me a funny video or taking, a whole group out onto the playground and just playing, like me finding joy is huge. And so if I'm doing those 3 things every day, I'm staying on track.
Fantastic. That's what we love, being on track and just having that way to go every day. Tammy, I want to thank you for being on. It was a great discussion. I learned a lot about you, and I learned a lot about how to help other people. Again, happy Veterans Day, and thank you.
Happy Veterans Day too.
I'm not a veteran.
Oh,
Civilian.
sorry.
No, I'm the one in the group. No, not a veteran.
That's right. That's right.
I was 17 and I dislocated my knee, and it's been crazy since then. So.
Well, you're worth it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. MisFitNation, thank you. Again, Tammy, thank you. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.